We are talking with John Dupree. He is the president and CEO of Oaktree Ventures, Inc. It's a boutique investment firm. He helps companies prepare themselves to raise the capital they need. And he's been in business since 1985, and believe it or not, he's actually financed over 600 companies during that time. That's quite a track record.
Thank you very much. It's been exciting.
I'm sure. And there had to have been some ups and downs, though. Couldn't be all smooth sailing as an entrepreneur.
A lot of companies have not succeeded, but some have.
So more have than haven't?
Well, I always remember the big ones that have succeeded, and the small ones usually because management hasn't been in place to stay with the company, to have all the skill sets to take it to the next level, because actually companies need to always reinvent themselves. And as long as they're reinventing themselves, and reinventing could simply be the addition of next generation product. Because the dominant revenue generator in a company that has 6 products, that revenue generator with that particular product today may not be the dominant revenue generator in 3 years from now.
And isn't that your secret, if you will, to success, that you've been able to stay up with things and always manage to be a forward thinker? Because, as you say, it may not be relevant 3 years from now, what you're doing today.
It's really true, Jenna. And one thing that we did a company that we started from scratch. It was called Beverly Hills Internet on Camden Drive in Beverly Hills, and was created by an entrepreneur named David Bonet. And he had spent all of his money on developing this product. And he had an idea to develop a website where people could go live, work, and play all at once. And and you could create your own website. It was marvelous. And we had an opportunity to have it financed by, or not financed yet, but to have a major customer with a big bank in Los Angeles. And he went to them and we said, we want you to give us $25,000 a month as a fee, and then we will have a database that you will be able to access for more customers. They were smart enough to say, $25,000 a month for how big is the database? We said 100,000 people a month. He said no. They said when you get to 1 million, we'll give you 25,000. In the meantime, we'll only give you 5,000. And David says, no way. I said, David, let's caucus, go outside. You'll have your very first customer. Take the money.
There you go.
So he did it. Long story short, that 3 years later, they were very successful. They went public. And the success part of that whole transaction was that Yahoo wanted to buy them out. And so David thought he would take maybe $600,000 for the company. And I said, David, let's do a valuation. We valued the company at over $2 billion, and Yahoo paid $2.4 billion for the company. That was a big transaction.
And this is what you do.
Yes.
So you're continuing to do this as you move forward?
Yes, absolutely. So it's the mathematical algorithms, and you know when you value an enterprise, it's a science, but you take 3 or 4 components of the different ratio analysis and the discounted cash flow of future earnings. And what we do at Oaktree, we created what we call a qualitative assessment of a company's growth potential. So we can see where you're going to go, and part of that becomes the value today.
All right. You obviously know your stuff. That's a big part of a success story with regard to any business or individual. What other tips and advice would you have for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs?
Well, first of all, define the market. If you can, when you're going to define the market, it's how big a niche that you can carve out. Because you can't go where the big guys are, because they have more human resources and more financial resources, and you can't compete with them. So stay away from that and stay in the hamlets and the villages where they ain't. Okay, and then dominate your niche that way, so they'll probably one day want to buy you out.
What about the building of brands? Isn't that huge as well?
Well, you need to build a brand, because it's like, I go back to 3 entrepreneurs that began, one of them in 1893, and it was an individual that created this elixir that he could sell in his pharmacy. Today it is Coca-Cola. And so they were a young entrepreneur startup back there over 100 years ago, and today they're in 125 countries and they're winning big. Another one is what they call AFLAC. And that was developed in Atlanta, Georgia by a couple of young entrepreneurs, and they couldn't figure out what to tell it and what to call it. It was American Federal Life Assurance Company. And one of the promoters was walking by a village where they had a pond, and there were some ducks, and he kept hearing quack, 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 and he was thinking Aflac, Aflac, and that's how it became Aflac.
Is that how it all
And that was
started?
their big success.
Aflac. It sticks with you.
It sticks with you.
And that's key.
Yeah. And the other story is the one with McDonald's. Ray Kroc had developed that, and he bought that from these two brothers and made that into a fast food chain. But that was a virtual startup.
Amazing. And then I guess another thing that entrepreneurs have to remember when they're looking for investors is investors invest in people.
Investors invest in people, the management. You have to be able to convince an investor that you have the ability to create the end in mind. Where are you going to end with your money? You're going to put X dollars in. This is the value we have today. This is what we're going to create with your money. After we create this with your money, you can make an exit.
All right. You give back to the community, I know. That's big. What is your favorite charity?
Well, I think Wounded Warriors is a charity that we like, and we like to give out back through the universities. Through, like, for example, San Diego State University has a class on finance and entrepreneurship, and so I give to that by speaking to that class and giving them copies of my books and helping these young entrepreneurs grow in the marketplace.
Sharing your wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. John Dupuy, President and CEO of Oaktree Ventures, Inc., and you can get more information on his website at oaktreeventures.com, but certainly check out our website for more on today's entrepreneurs. Thank you for watching.